Welcome back to another stunning and exciting movie review. Jeff joined by the one and only Alton Sean Godley. Hello there. And we are on our way to the exciting, beautiful, and majestic Raleigh Grand Theater, located conveniently in Raleigh, North Carolina. But before we get there, we are here at Randy's Pizza. We would plan to be joined by Jason Combs today, Mr. Honeycombs himself. Unfortunately, he's home with explosive diarrhea. Eating a massive cheesesteak before we head to the movie theater is our attempt to have the same fate as him. We'll see you inside. We are on our way to the movie theater, and it's a movie that I'm really optimistic about. I'm really excited about. I love Kevin Smith. I didn't enjoy Red State very much, but I'm excited about this one. How do you feel?
Well, Jeff, I view Kevin Smith as one of the few great things I've gotten out of our friendship because I was not a fan before I met you. But last year for Christmas, you gave me an evening with Kevin Smith, and now I've been hooked ever since. So I've actually got a good attitude about this.
And the bathrooms are nice and clean. So we are just out of seeing Tusk, and Sean's taking a few moments to gather his thoughts. I don't blame him, because that was different. And we are just out of seeing Tusk, a movie where Michael Parks decides to turn Justin Long, in his Tom Selleck-esque mustache, into a walrus. It features Johnny Depp disgracing his entire 25-plus year career as Guy Lapointe in a role that's so awful that he won't even accept credit for it. In the credit, it actually says Guy Lapointe as Guy Lapointe. Anyone who actually saw Fear and Loathing in Las Vegas and thought that's the weirdest thing that Johnny Depp will ever be a part of, or saw Alice in Wonderland and thought that's the worst thing Johnny Depp will ever be a part of, you were wrong. You were terribly wrong. The role of Guy Lapointe was actually offered to Quentin Tarantino originally, who said no for very obvious reasons at this point, showing that Quentin Tarantino apparently doesn't do too many drugs, because he was smart enough to say no to this. Tusk is a movie where the human centipede meets misery, if you've ever seen that movie, with the one and only Kathy Bates. Except that movie was quite a bit better. This movie was filmed in North Carolina, where this video was being shot, so it's nice to know that we were able to give them a tax break. I will give credit where credit is due. Justin Long has balls of steel to be in this movie. He was incredible, really good, and not just his mustache. This is yet another movie like Sin City: A Dame to Kill For that shows us a old man's bare ass and tells us to deal with it. This time Michael Parks decides to drop trowel. I guess that's the best way to put it. Thankfully, there was no love scene with the 76-year-old Michael Parks, because I probably would have thrown up.
I have nothing to say about this piece of shit. I can't believe Kevin Smith did this to me.
Sean actually asked if we could make a quick pit stop so he could kind of clear his head a little bit. Really didn't enjoy the movie. We're going to let him, marinate for a minute, and then we're going to get back and talk about it.
Well, guys, I like to say this movie betrayed me. First 30 minutes into it, it starts on one track, and then all of a sudden it takes a dark turn and never comes back. 1 minute I'm looking at Haley Joel Osment in his man cave, complete with homoerotic posters in the background, and all of a sudden I'm seeing a guy getting butchered up and sewed up into a human suit. After watching Justin Long get smacked upside the head by a walrus penis, I find myself asking, what is this movie about? It's too much of a comedy to be a horror movie. It's too much horror to be a comedy. For any fan of Kevin Smith out there, this is his trauma version of a real movie. He really tries too hard for shock value rather than actual content.
When I was trying to talk you guys into coming and seeing this with me, I compared this to kind of like to my Christmas. I was so excited about it because I love Kevin Smith so much. But ultimately, Kevin Smith took a shit in my stocking with this. So ultimately, Sean, would you recommend this?
Absolutely not. It's not often I give credit to reviewers, but when they call this movie mind-blowing, it's true, because I honestly want to blow up my brains right about now rather than see it again.
Thank you for tuning in to another video. That's going to do it for this week. If you can, like this video and also subscribe to our channel. Leave us any thoughts or feedbacks you might have. And assuming we don't die from the terrible memories of this movie, we'll see you next week.